From the fight Saturday night in Las Vegas, Nevada, we had the 154-pound champion Sebastian Fundora versus Chordale Booker. It's been a year layoff for Fundora since he was last in the ring. It's when he won the titles against Tim Tszyu in a bloodbath fight. Wins, takes care of business this time around. 4th round stoppage. Did what he had to do, what he was supposed to do. I guess my question for you is, do you see him getting better? Do you see improvement? I mean, this fight, maybe, hey, get this guy out of there. Don't take any chances. But at 6'6", he is the tallest active champion in all of boxing, fighting at 154 pounds. I love to see him grab the canvas. I love to see him control distance more and keep guys at the end of the punch, not walking forward. I still think he's way too erect and a big target inside. His chin is up. You could hit him. With that being said, love to hear your thoughts. What'd you think of his performance? And what'd you think of the fight overall?
I thought in the Tszyu fight, look, blood really was the X factor. Blood, the bleeding of Tszyu in his forehead into his eyes, really bad. That, there's no doubt, that became, that became a huge factor, a bigger factor than it should have been, but it was. And it really, I thought, probably took the title away from Tszyu. But I give Fundora credit. He did what he had to do that night. I thought that night he showed, at least in spots, where he was learning how to fight tall. Like you said, control the outside, use his God-given physical assets of length and height, and keep the guy at the end of his punches. Not fight the other guy's fight by going inside. Even though he'd think that's his fight because he's such a fighter. Fundora is a fighter. I mean, he comes from a fighting family. His sister's a champion. I mean, his father trains him. The guy's a fighter. The guy, you can see it. The guy doesn't, it's not fancy. The guy says, okay, I'm going to go and I'm going to fight you. I'm going to fight you, and that's what I do, and that's what and I'm going to do it. I'm going to go, I'm going to engage you, and, you might hit me some. That's part of the territory of being a fighter. At the end of the day, I'm going to hit you some more. And listen, you love that attitude, but then you have to kind of couple that attitude and cover that attitude and protect that attitude with other things. And some of that is technical things, how to best use, as I touched on earlier, your physical abilities or your physical assets that you've been given. I thought I thought this fight, like I said, I thought in the Tszyu fight there were spots when he started to look like he maybe learned how to fight tall. This fight, that kind of went out the window. I mean, maybe it didn't matter because he was fighting a guy in Brown, 36 years, not Brown, Booker, who's got one loss. His one loss, he got stopped. He got knocked out. And he got knocked out by a fighter that I raved about last week, that we talked about last week, Ammo Williams. He got knocked out by him. And so nothing to be ashamed about, but he got knocked out. And so this wasn't expected to be a big test coming off a year layoff for Fundora. And it wasn't. But there was good news and bad news. The good news is Fundora is a good offensive fighter. And even with his height and his length and everything, where sometimes, a lot of times, he don't fight tall and he don't fight in the geography. I would like to see him fight on the outside more. He goes inside. I'll tell you, he's a good inside fighter too. He shortens his punch. Not too many guys could do that. Riddick Bowe did it when he beat Holyfield the first time. A lot of people didn't think. They thought he would get beat on the inside with Holyfield. But no, he was able to beat Holyfield on the inside by shortening up those longer arms and throwing short, concise punches, damaging punches, uppercuts, everything. Fundora has a lot of confidence in the uppercut and in his power and in his heart, in his attitude. Again, he's going to outfight you. That's kind of, it's up to other people around him, and in this case, really his father, to convince him, yeah, you got that when you need it, but that's not needed all the time. That's not needed all the time. Kind of like in your business in the football. You got the quarterback who could throw the bomb, but that's not needed all the time. Let's be able to run the ball. Let's be able to do other things. Let's be able to throw short passes too. open up the defense a little. That's not, we know we got the bomb if we need it, but let's not get to the point where we always are looking for it, because then the other side's going to know that's what's coming. Same thing here. You want Fundora to become a guy that, yeah, we know he's got heart. We know he can fight inside, but do what your physical assets kind of demand you to do. Dominate guys on the outside. Make it their job to have to get inside, to take risk, to be forced to do something they're not good at doing. Fundora doesn't do that. He does you a favor. But at the end, it's not always a favor because he beats you up inside. But he comes to you. Like, when I see a tall guy, the first thing I'm thinking as a trainer, how am I going to get to this guy? This guy says, Teddy, you don't have to worry about it. I'm coming to you. I'll be right there. Ted, you tell your fighter I'll be there in 2 minutes. As soon as they ring the bell, you guys going to ring the bell? I'll be right there. I mean, you don't have to figure it out. Here's the good news. As I said, he's a good offensive fighter. He could be good on the outside or the inside. He throws short punches, damaging punches, beautiful uppercuts. Really, he can punch inside with anybody. Here's the bad news. His defense ain't good. His offense is at sometimes it's really good because it's smooth. He's got power. He mixes his punches. He's got a good assortment, a good array of punches. He mixes them up beautifully. Goes up top, goes underneath, beautifully. But his offense sometimes stinks. His defense, His defense, like I said about the judges, sometimes they stink. Or sometimes Fundora's defense too often stinks. Because he takes those great physical assets and he puts them in the wrong place. He puts them in close with you. He allows you to get in close. Where now it's not an advantage. It's a disadvantage. Because there's a lot of target now. A lot of target. And he just stands tall. Almost waiting to get hit. Brown might have won the first round because he landed Booker, because he landed 2 clean punches, probably were the most telling punches of the round. That was the only round he won, but he probably won that round. More importantly, he showed how easy it is to get inside on this guy. He used his feet. He's small, Brown. Of course, Booker, he's smaller than Fundora. Everyone's smaller than Fundora, but Booker's even smaller. Because, he's a guy that don't have much height. I mean, to begin with. Even if he was fighting a guy who was more ordinary in size, he'd probably be the smaller guy. And yet he got in. How? He just moved in. He used his legs. All of a sudden, he just skated in, skated out. Skated in, skated out. And when he skated in, all he had to do was chuck punches. All he had to do was chuck. He chucked a few punches. He's a southpaw. He was landing the right hook, but they were both southpaws, so it was a battle of southpaws. But Booker would just chuck a few punches, like I said, up top. You almost didn't even have to look. Just close your eyes, do this, bud, and throw. You're going to hit something because it's there. Because he's tall, it's there. It's not moving. It's not getting low. He doesn't get small. He just stands tall when you get close. So the good news, he looked good offensively. The bad news, and he showed a lot of heart, as always, and a good chin. The bad news is he showed he gets hit a lot again. And it's not hard to get in on him. You just move in, you throw something up top, you're going to land. The problem with Booker is he wasn't throwing with bad intention. He's not a big puncher to begin with, but he wasn't really throwing. He was throwing like powder puff punches. He was almost throwing don't hit me punches. I don't want to hit you too hard. Don't hit me too hard. Almost like that. Don't think there's not psychological arrangements and deals being made in a fight for the fans out there. There are. That's why I always say the guy who's better up here usually wins if he's got enough talent, of course. But he usually wins if he's better up here, upstairs, where it counts the most. 75% of it's mental. So it almost looked like Booker was looking to survive more than win. Like he was, he had some spots where it was good. He moved his hands a little. But again, it was almost like he was throwing just to stay in there, like to hope that he could survive. Rather than really, when he's in there throwing to try to win or trying to get rid of this guy, trying to hurt the guy. Hey, look, he's not a big puncher, so maybe I'm being a little unfair. I don't think I am, but maybe I am. I always allow the possibility that that maybe I could be a little bit off with that. We all can. But at the end of the day, there was no being off about the opinion of saying that Fundora is too easy to hit still. Yeah, I love his attitude. I love his family. I love everything about it. How it's a family. It's a family affair all the way. And I love, like I said, the way he shortens punches up on the inside. I love the pressure. Yeah, he broke down Booker. He just kept coming. And look, to his credit, what did he come behind? The jab. The only thing is, like you said at the opening, he don't have to move in all the time behind the jab. Because when you move in, you get closer to the other guy's punches. But he did come in behind the jab. That is the fundamentally right way to do it. He came in. He kept hitting him with that jab, kept the pressure on. He didn't cut the ring down. He followed Booker a lot. He's got to learn how to cut the ring down if he's going to be that kind of pursuer, right? If you're going to be a pursuer, you got to learn how to pursue. The right way to pursue is, like in your business, the linebacker has to move lateral down the line. He can't just go chasing after the running back. He's got to keep himself in front of the running back. Well, Fundora's got to learn how to use that. At the end of the day, his pressure broke him down, and then his punches got rid of him. But the pressure got Booker, paralyzed Booker, got Booker to move less, wore him down, and did it quickly. What was it, 4 rounds? Did it quickly. Yeah, did it quickly. He evaporated, like I talk about the boiling water. He evaporated the pot of water, and he did it pretty quick. Behind the jab, constant pressure, attitude. When he hit him, he acted like it didn't matter, just kept coming at him. All of that broke him down.
Yeah, good finisher. When he gets a guy hurt, he knows how to finish.
No, he does. Listen, he got the job done. I would just love to see. You don't see too many guys with those physical elements, those physical assets. I would just love when he fights the better guys again. He got this one out of the way. He got an easy one. Turned out to be easy, but they picked one that figured to be a little easier with the year layoff. But then what? Then those things we're talking about, those things are going to be at play. They're going to be at play.